Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, I'm just going to be dropping a quick video, but I want to talk about this mode that seems to be coming in 2K25 that I entirely missed when I was going over the 2K25 launch information that came out, yesterday or the day before, whenever that was. And it shows right here in this MyTEAM section. I did not notice this. What is weekly king of the court? That could be really, really interesting. And obviously we don't know anything about it right now, but I think that's something that could be some sort of return of actual viable, grindable content, competitive, a competitive game mode in MyTEAM potentially, whatever it is. This could be something really, really promising. So before we hop into it, I'm going to give some thoughts on what I think this mode might be. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 30,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, tons of consistent daily MyTEAM content. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. And without further ado, let's hop right into it. So my thought process with this, by the way, this video is exclusively speculation. I'm just talking about what I think could happen and what I hope this is. So if that's not interesting to you, feel free to click off. This is all speculation. But my hope with this mode, is that it is some sort of weekend league-esque mode. A mode that actually, because it says it's weekly, right? Clash with other elite players in the weekly king of the court. When it says other elite players, that makes me think it's a competitively based mode. Weekly king of the court makes me think it could be a weekend thing. It would make a lot of sense that this is something that's Friday through Sunday or something along those lines, or maybe it just resets every week. But this could easily be the best mode in MyTEAM next year, and it's not even close. Because number one, a competitive style mode like this could, number one, potentially have very solid rewards, which would be really nice. Number two, it might have actual viable leaderboards that work the way that leaderboards are designed to, and not just whoever plays the most games is the highest on the leaderboard. Because yes, you got more points for winning or losing in MyTEAM Unlimited, but if y'all, let's be honest, if you look at the Unlimited leaderboards right now, it's not the best players in the mode or the best players on the game at the top of the leaderboard. Obviously there will be some players who are very good players who are up there towards the top of the leaderboard, but it's also a lot of names. Well, to be fair, there's not much of a competitive scene in MyTEAM anymore, period. So there's not going to be a lot of names you recognize regardless, unless you're just a grinder or you're really tuned in on the MyTEAM competitive scene. But it's at the same time, it's not the elite level players. There's no motivation right now whatsoever to be an elite level MyTEAM player besides the occasional third-party tourneys that are being ran by people in the community. And shout out to my boy Nato for running his OTO league. And I know there's an up-and-coming streamer on Twitch named Ebans. I don't know a ton about him, haven't really talked to him much, but I know he ran his own tourney and it had a pretty big pot in the last month or so. Shout out to the people like that who are trying to keep a competitive scene in MyTEAM going. But right now, in terms of what MyTEAM does in their game, there is almost nothing that incentivizes people to play competitively. I just pulled up the unlimited leaderboards just for context. Let's look at this. 60% win percentage, 51, 76, that's not awful, but 60, 57, 85, that's good. That dude's good. 85% win percentage isn't bad. 87% win percentage for last PB is good. 85, there's a third guy who's got a good winner percentage. 81, that's 4, I guess, over 80. 93%, that dude's a booster, by the way. Because I know who he is. That's no toxicity intended, but I know that's the case. That's 5 with an 86, and then that's it. In the top 50, there are 5 guys who look like they legitimately have a win percentage over 80. Look, I'm not trying to be that guy, but that's not a good leaderboard system. And other games with competitive leaderboards and ranking systems do not have this issue. Even MLB, with all of their issues this year, they have a great ranked system that does rank players properly and give you a really effective, legitimate leaderboard that actually, I think, does a good job of sorting how good you are at the game and where you are and where you deserve to be. And it's not just based on how much you play the mode. This is an opportunity, whether it is a weekend league style thing where you have 15 or 20 or 25 games a week that you can play, or a smaller number of games on the weekend, or whatever the case may be. This is an opportunity for, number one, legitimate leaderboards that are actually worth grinding to try to be up near the top. This is an opportunity for a game mode that has very good rewards. You could have weekly rewards, you could have monthly rewards. It can be actually, and I don't want to give 2K too much credit, but hopefully, fingers crossed, this is the type of mode where they don't let it go by the wayside like they have other modes in the past. Because, for example, the draft mode from the last couple of years in 2K21, 2K22, or was it 2K22 and 2K23 that the draft mode was in? Nobody played that mode in 2K23. People played it in 2K22, some, but the rewards were not worth grinding that mode. It was a garbage ascension, and the reward player was always bad in draft. It just wasn't worth completing. If they can do two things: number one, make the rewards actually good, and number two, create a system, and I don't know exactly what the system for this mode is going to look like again, but a system that actually seems to reward elite players and reward that competition and creates a competitive atmosphere in MyTEAM. That would be phenomenal for content. For YouTubers like me, I used to stream a ton. This is the type of thing where if the game is good next year, I could see myself streaming a lot more, streaming my games on the weekend. I mean, Weekend League was legitimately one of the best parts about Madden, and they took it away in the last couple of years, which is a real shame, but they're bringing back their own competitive mode this year. Again, I don't exactly know how it's going to work, but I know they've made some upgrades to their head-to-head season system and their competitive modes and stuff in-game. And also, Madden has a huge competitive scene. 2K has like almost no competitive scene at this point, which is so sad. And at the end of the day, I don't expect 250K to come back. I think expecting a 250K tournament next year is completely unrealistic and honestly just kind of a waste of time, because it's not going to happen. Let's be completely honest. But this is the type of thing that can bring people into the game, provide a motivation on a weekly basis to play the game, even if the content for that week isn't great, because I'm not delusional. The content's not going to be great every week. But if we can get to a point, well, to be fair, all of this will kind of be a moot point if gambling is the system that they use again for card collection next year. And if that's the case, it will pretty much ruin everything else. So number one thing, gambling needs to be gone. If gambling isn't gone and you can't directly go get the cards that you want, it's going to be unacceptable. And I mean, here's my plea, honestly, because I don't expect 2K, I'm being totally honest with you, I don't expect 2K to bring the gambling out. But please, if you're gonna put the gambling in the game, it needs to be at a minimum, like one card a week as a special insert max. Like, we cannot have this gambling system that we've had this year where, I mean, at this point, if you go on 2KDB and you look at these last few Friday drops, it is embarrassing how bad it is. I mean, look at the Friday drop they dropped, or I guess it was technically Wednesday last week, but this drop, the only cards in this drop that are not gambling is the one free card, Richard Jefferson, who's a mode reward. He's not even part of the pack drop, and three dark matters that are buyable, and then one grindable crappy dark matter Luca. The fact that 3/4 of the drop is gambling and you can only get them from opening packs, and again, you can't guarantee yourself the card you want. You can open $1,000 worth of packs, but if you want invincible LeBron James, there's no guarantee you get him. If you want 100 overall Wilt, there's no guarantee you get him. That's the problem with this system, and it's ruined everything else. And if they fix that, that will help a lot. But at the end of the day, the most important thing with a mode like this and the potential of a mode like this is that it could open up doors for a lot more competitive lists, a lot more different avenues for content, a lot more ways to engage your community and provide them with things that are worth grinding on a consistent basis and build this community back up, because the community is in the mud right now. It just absolutely is. It's the worst it's ever been, and it's the worst community right now in sports gaming in a variety of ways, and I think 2K has definitely played a large part in that. And it's really disappointing to see, but this has potential. This has real potential. And if it is executed properly, there is definitely hope. I'm not going to lie. I will be really, really, really pleased if this is executed well and can be some sort of Weekend League-esque mode that really does bring a lot of positive to the game. If not, it might just be another thing where we look back on it in a couple of years and it's like kind of like Limited or Draft, where it's like, oh, that was a cool concept. I wish they'd executed it better. It's the honest truth. Hopefully that's not the case with this mode. We'll see what happens. Obviously, we'll get a lot more news in the near future. Hope y'all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.